Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Hey y'all, this is Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back. Recently I showed you a whole envelope full of beautiful crafty papers, arty papers that I purchased from PM Artist Studio. They were either created and or donated by an artist named Suzanne. Is it Susan or Suzanne? I think it's Susan Gantz. And I was totally enamored. These are some of the papers that came from that pack. But will you look at this? And I was totally enamored with this. And I was on a rampage trying to figure out what was this technique? What kind of paper is this? How do you get this beautiful mottled effect? And through my process of trying to hunt that down, Mariah, the M of PM Artist Studio, told me that it was a technique called Citra-Solv. I had never heard of Citra-Solv. Here's another one. Look at that. Isn't that super cool? And so again, these are the papers that set me on this journey. And then these I think are variations on it as well. This one I feel like they either had some type of tool and pulled the ink off, or they maybe laid down papers or like strips of papers or even a stencil to create that effect. That's my guess. And this one I feel like was one that maybe they weren't so happy with, but then they did a pull with it. They laid grasses down on their gel plate and then did the white ink or white paint and then pulled that, and then this is how they got that. That's my guess. I don't know that for sure. What I do know is Citra-Solv. So I went online, I purchased me some Citra-Solv. This is the concentrate. You always want to use the concentrate. It is made with essential oils, Valencia orange, and it smells orange, but it also, my whole apartment smells like it. And I was told in all the different videos that I've seen, do it outside, do it in a well-vented area. I did not follow that. I encourage you follow that, because literally my entire apartment smells like this. But Citra-Solv, and then I put it in this tiny little bottle just for ease. I've seen people put it in like a sprayer like this, or like a distress sprayer. This is going to atomize it almost, mist it so that it floats in the air. I don't want that floating in the air. But I also didn't want to just pour it straight from the bottle, because that's a huge waste. So this was a happy medium for me. And this is the National Geographic that I have used. This one is from 1999. The guidance that I've been hearing, depending on who you watch, was that the earlier the year, the better. But then I also heard anything after 1950, because they changed their ink and or their paper at 1950 and up until 2000. So they did something different from 2000 on. So I went with 1999. I've got another one here somewhere and another one en route. So I think the other one is from 70. But anyway, so I literally just opened the pages. Let me back up and say the first 10, and like maybe it's even more than 10, the first several pages and the last several pages are all ads. There are ads interspersed throughout the rest of the magazine, but for the most part the rest of the magazine is all articles, and it's printed on clay. The paper's made of clay or has clay in it, and the type of ink that's involved also makes what this technique works. To my knowledge, it's only National Geographic. However, these I know are National Geographic. This is significantly larger, so I'm not sure what that's from. It looks like, this looks like a bottle of booze. I don't know. So I would just say play. And I've tried it on some different things and it did not work. But literally I just opened the pages and started pouring out the solvent. So you can see ads, ads, ads. These are all ads. There's small articles here and there, but they're all ads up until about here. Now we're not going to get into this. Those are a few pages that are still baking, I guess they call it. But while those bake, I wanted to show you what I was able to get last night. Now I'm going to start with my favorites on top, and we'll go from there. I will stop talking most likely in just a few seconds, and then I'll just speed this up because I really want to show you all of them. But this is a big stack, and they're both sides. So this one is one of my favorites. This was a big bursty ray of sun right there, and look at that color. Isn't that so cool? Now this side was a sea turtle. The other side you'll see as well. Let me see if I can get them together. No, I'm not sure where the other side was. But this was this side of the magazine. This was this side of the magazine. And then when I closed it and the ink started to dissolve, it stuck to this page too. So now I have 2 pages with that beautiful burst of sun. And you can see these weird patterns. That's from how I opened the magazine. So the ink is very, very easily manipulated. And so like this is where the different pages were touching, but look at those colors. And you have no idea what was under that. No idea whatsoever. Now these 2 pages were stuck together, and I literally just pulled them apart this morning. And so this is ink that was over here that transferred over there, but still it's a very cool effect. So I'm not mad about that at all. So I'm going to set us to music from here, and if I feel like there's anything I need to interject, I will likely just do a voiceover. Okay, so you can see there's still a little bit of transfer. I do want to go ahead and open the magazine and see if these are ready yet. I'm going to take off my little gloves because I don't want them to get yuck on them. It's only yuck in the wrong circumstance. So there was one that I showed you had a little mandala. So that was me showing you that you could manipulate the ink while it's still wet. So I put these stencils in here hoping that the ink would kind of pool around the patterns of the stencil. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened here. Oh, I'm not seeing anything really, so I'm going to leave it in there a little bit longer. Let's see if any of the others are working. No, I wonder if they need more of the solvent. I'm going to sprinkle a little more solvent on there. And just, we have to give it time to work, right? So it's not like we're going to see it immediately. Look how cool that is. I want to see if I can get some more of the dots. I like the dots. And we already know that this didn't work here, so we're gonna add some more solvent, see if that helps. Same here. I'm not even gonna lift that because if the other two haven't worked, I'm pretty certain that one hasn't. Now I also may have overworked these pages. And I say that because this is the third time I'm adding solvent to them, because I worked it last night a little bit, got some pages out, worked it a little bit more, got some more pages out, and then I left it overnight, and then when I came to it this morning I was able to get a few more pages out, and then I did this, and then so from here on it's all ads again, so you can see how much that is. And in the beginning, it's about that much, so it doesn't give me a page number. Yeah, I'm not seeing page numbers. This says it's page 81, and you can see I got several pages out of there before that. But at any rate, it's quite a few pages in the front and quite a few in the back. And you can see, like, I wasn't fussy, I wasn't precious or particular about how I laid this down. I literally just sprinkled. And I've seen people literally take the whole bottle and then just sprinkle it on each page, but really it pours out, it doesn't sprinkle out. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put us on pause. I'm going to let this bake, and then I'll come back and we'll see what we've got in the end. All right, well, let's take a look and see what we've got. Nothing. But here's what I'm gonna do. Let me see if I have a baby wipe. All right, let me spray it with some water. These are old and dry. But I want to see. Oh yeah, can you see that? So you can think of that wet and, what's the word I'm looking for, dissolving ink as just another medium, right? How can you use that? Look at that. How cool is that? All right, so we'll pull that out. Actually, let me get my... These pages do not tear easily. I wonder. This is me exploring. You know how I do. I don't know if water's going to do anything to that or not. But we'll see. I'm going to just set it aside for a bit. Just give that time to do whatever it's going to do. And there was nothing on this side. My guess is there's not going to be anything under the alphabet either, but let me take a peek. Nope, so I'm going to do the same thing. That's interesting. Maybe not what I thought we were going to have, but it's interesting. Did my cut go through there? Yeah. Whoop. There's some places. I think had I done this right the first time, it would have worked. But like I said, I think I just manipulated it too many times. This one's really working well. Look at that. Oh, and you know what? That solidifies my thought about the one that came in my Arty Papers pack, that I thought it might be like a stencil or something that caused it. That is stinking cool. Did my cut go through? It did. Okay. I don't want to mess that up. So I'm going to leave that to dry. Cool. Let's see what I can do on this side. Yeah, I like that. I wanted there to be more of the pattern or more of the picture. I like being able to manipulate it while it's still kind of melty. Isn't that super cool? Let me bring this guy back in and see what else I can do to him. Again, I don't want to obliterate all the color and the everything. I just want to manipulate that ink. Perfect. So stinking fun. Oh, this one didn't cut through. Now I wonder if I can go back and do any of the others that didn't turn out great. See, I feel like it would have worked. There's a little bit of an impression there. This stencil is from a Colorful Laugh Designs. Whoop. Now I am having to rub a little bit harder because the orifices on this are they're thin. So it takes a little more persistence. Oh, look, it transferred some of the paint that was on there. That's cool too. wow, wow. And I did that without obliterating that part, so that's good. Let's see if this one will tear out or not. That color is really fun. Let's see what we can get here. Good. I am loving this so very much. Where's my little X-Acto knife? Some places I want the stencil design to be very, very visible. And other places I don't. Just didn't get any water. It's interesting how the water is helping. Oh yeah. And that side did not get obliterated. So yay! Yay to new things. If we can get anything on here. I don't think we'll be able to get anything on that ad page either, but I'm going to try. This page I think so, because it's the same paper as the other side. Really cool. Oh, we're getting a little. So the ads don't work in the same way as the other pages do, but you still have the opportunity to add some interesting stuff to it. Cool. All right, and so the rest of this is ads and trash. Let's do a quick little recap of what we've just gotten with the solvent and the stencils and the water. So we got that one. This one not great, but again, this was an ad page, so I didn't expect to get anything. So anything that I got was a bonus, I feel like. And then this is the other side. Both really cool. Oh, I meant to do this side. And there we have it. That's really cool. This side I'm going to leave because I think that's really cool. And I never know what I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use. So we're just going to leave that as is. Just trying to clean my fingers up a little bit before I go grabbing. So this is the one with the stencil that had paint on it. So it lifted pattern and color and stuff from the back, and then also laid down the paint, and then that's that bigger stencil. So this is one, oh, that other one that I just did, those were ones that I was hoping the water might make an impact, right? It did not. I wonder if I can just kind of sprinkle, and I'll just leave that as is by itself and see if that does anything there. And then this is another one that had the stencil with the paint, and then that was that other one. So very good, guys. Thank you for going on this journey with me. It's been very interesting. And as I always say, if you wonder what if, give it a try, right? Like, I had guidance to get me started, but then as I go, I wonder, hey, what if? What if I try this? What if I do that? What if we use the stencil? What if we just leave drops? What if we try water? Lots of different what ifs, different things that I tried, and really, in one way or another, all were successful to lesser degrees or greater degrees than others, but so cool, guys. I thank you that you joined me for this. I thank PM Artist Studio and Susan Gantz and Mariah and anybody else who told me about this technique and about Citra-Solv, and I'm so excited. Now I have to figure out what to do with all these amazing papers, because this is my stash. And guys, this is one magazine. I have 2 other magazines coming. I think though, because of the smell, and I'm trying to air out my place and all of that, I think this will be the last time I do it for some time. But yeah, maybe in the fall I can take it all outside, or maybe in the summer. But that's the ones with the bright sunshine. So good. All right, friends, until next time, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, with the Citra-Solv and NatGeo technique. And until next time, mwah, I'm out.